What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814EDC, and it's been a minute, guys, since I've been in front of the camera. Life has just been really busy lately, and you guys know, I think I've preached this before, and I've told you, I've explained stuff before, and I know you guys don't care, but, I kind of like to give little updates on my life, whenever I take decent-sized breaks from YouTube, because I don't think I've uploaded a video in, it's probably been like two and a half, maybe 3 weeks. It's been a long time. But recently, within the past couple weeks, I moved home from school for the summer. I am still doing school online, but we moved out of our apartment, moved home. I started my summer job this week. I'm doing roofing with a company all summer, so I've already kind of experienced how that's going to go. I'm excited. I've enjoyed it so far, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of manual labor, being out in the sun and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good summer, pays decently well. So I'm looking forward to that, but I've just been kind of getting adjusted to it, getting up pretty early in the morning, and whatnot. So that's been, part of my life. I've been, just trying to, it's a lot to move back home, especially because we lived in our apartment for 2 years. So I brought a lot of stuff back home that like I normally wouldn't. Like last summer, I left some of the stuff up there because we were keeping the lease through this past school year, and, just a lot of stuff going on. So I know, personal stuff and whatnot, and you guys always say, it's okay. It's, taking a break is fine. And I know it is, but I have some knives here that 3 of them are Kevin's, and 1 of them is from the Apex Pass-Around group. And I just have had them for, I've had Kevin's for probably too long, and I just need to get them filmed and sent out to him. So it's Friday. I got off a little bit early today because it started raining. But yeah, I have some free time, so I'm gonna try to bang these out. And so jumping right into the first knife, guys. This is the Luft Concepts Avant. So this is, you guys know that this is a collaboration between Jake Wright over at Bearded Gear and Ryan. I forget Ryan's last name. Ryan Rimmer, I think, over at Rimmer Designs. That makes sense. Brain fart there, but this is a collaboration between them. They came together and created Luft Concepts, which is their company, and the Avant is their first rendition or first design that they've come out with. And this was a pre-order, I think it's honestly been like 2 years ago. 2 years ago? A year and a half? It's been a decent amount because they came out with the pre-order and they went with Riot. So Riot is the manufacturer of this. And the pre-order, like once they placed the order, I think it took like 9 months or so, maybe a year. It took a while for the order to be, made and to be completed, and then they had to ship it to them. And then I think Jake went to Texas, which is where Ryan lives, and I think they QC checked everything and they spent time and made sure everything was good. The unboxing experience I saw from a lot of my friends was really, really cool because they had this with a bunch of stickers and some like a keychain and a hank, I can't think of the word. And they were all that stuff was tucked inside of a Luft Concepts fanny pack. So the unboxing experience was really, really cool. I know Kevin got one. Pretty much a lot of my friends got one. Grady's Gear got one. I think Corey over at Stafford's EDC got one. Kyle over at DTOM Knives and Gear got one. So yeah, a lot of people that I communicate with and talk to in the knife community got one. I didn't get one because that was kind of, it wasn't early. It can't be 2 years ago because I haven't been really collecting for, it's been a little over 2 years since I started collecting. I don't know. I can't remember when the exact date was when the pre-order went live, but at that point in my knife collecting, I couldn't justify spending, $300 on a knife and have to wait a year for it, because I think at that time I had maybe just started my channel, or it was either I just started my channel or I was still new enough into collecting to where I was like, okay, I can take that $300 instead of buying one knife and waiting for it. I could put that towards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knives and get them now and have them for either content or for my collection. So that was kind of where my mindset was, and I still kind of think like that once in a while, but I did order Kevin Devo knives, the Stout Kevin and Collins design. That was the first knife that I ever pre-ordered, so that was kind of me taking the step in the right direction, towards getting more comfortable towards pre-ordering. That's it's just how it works in the knife world, and it's just how stuff, these startup companies and these mom and pop boutique brands, that's just how it happens, because people, like Jake and like Ryan and like Kevin and Colin, they can't just, write a check for $100,000 and give it to Riot or QSP or Kunwu and say, okay, here, make my knives, and then wait for them to come back in and then recoup the money. It doesn't work like that. So I completely get why pre-orders are a thing. Yes, there's two sides of the coin, because in one way they suck because you have to wait so long, but on the other side, you pay for it and then you kind of forget about it, and then you start seeing updates and it's getting closer, and then eventually you get it, and it's kind of like wow, like, okay, I didn't have to pay for it now. I paid for it way back then. It's already like paid for, and it's cool because I'm getting it now. Or you just completely forget about it in general, and it shows up to your house, and you're like, well, shit, I have a new knife. So kind of a little. That's how I kind of understand pre-orders now. Got my big jug of water here, but that's kind of just my understanding and my thought process on pre-orders. So kind of digress from the knife, but this is their first rendition, like I said. They have, so jumping right into materials, this is a satin blade. You can see Riot's belt satin is very nice. They're black micarta. They did this version, and then they also did a green micarta with a DLC blade. And then for, I think, Blade Show Texas and CCKS, I think, could have been just Blade Show Texas, they had a show-only exclusive with like natural brown micarta and a DLC blade, which is really nice looking. So, and if I didn't already mention it, this is coming as I drop it. You guys can tell I haven't filmed in a while, so luckily I'm on carpet, but this is coming over from Kevin over at LeftyEDC. He graciously sent this to me, but yeah, so jumping, back into materials, I guess. So this has the black micarta, the satin, belt satin blade right here with a really nice hollow grind. This thing is super, super thin. It feels great. It's an M390. You have a wire deep carry clip, which is awesome. Reversible lefty and righty carry. You have a titanium backspacer. There are liners. They are inset, which is really, really nice. And it's a liner lock, of course. It is numbered. This is number 124. I don't know if you guys can see up in there, if you can catch the lights right away. It's on the backspacer. Yeah, it has a, I didn't know what that noise was. It's my dog shaking her or itching herself. Man, this video is all over the place, guys. I apologize, but that's just what my channel is. It's just all over the place videos, and some of the knife content gets across to you guys. But this has a flipper tab back here with the Luft logo. Really, really cool. Obviously a hole for opening, hole for deployment. It does have a crown spine as well, which is really, really cool. You don't see that on, a whole lot of knives, but it's on bearings. I believe Kevin put skiffs in here. And I think that is all. There's no internal milling, but this thing is really lightweight, so you don't need any milling at all. It's very, not heavy at all. And I think that's all for materials, unless I'm missing something. So we'll jump right into action. So back here you have the flipper tab, and I didn't get to handle the prototype, but I think I saw from other people's channels the flipper tab was kind of pointy. So I know one of the changes was that they rounded it off. And you can get a really good purchase up here, as I missed it the first time, but it fires right out. As I miss it again, but comes right out. It's harder to do on camera. Very nice detent. I mean, I'll try to fail it. Yeah, I mean, you can, but the flipper tab also hit my hand when it came around. Because you guys can see I'm doing it, and then my finger's staying there, so like the tang of the blades hitting it. So, I mean, that was even light there. It's very hard to, not deploy it out. The detent is tuned very nicely. See that? The middle finger flick is phenomenal. It's very good on this knife. You just can get, down low, fire it out. You can get it way up in this corner, fire it out. Works very, very well. You can do like the pointer finger flick. You can turn the knife like this and use like your middle finger, deploy it that way. See if I can do a pinky flick. I'm not very good at doing the pinky flicks. See, Now, I've never been able to really do that, but you can probably do your ring finger. Yep. So this thing is super fidget friendly, and you guys can see it drops to your nail, and it's very smooth down. I mean, really, it's just drop, one shake, and it's closed. But if you want to be like really gentle with it, you can. I mean, it'll fall the whole way down. So it's, and I don't know. Like I said, I haven't felt one before, so I don't know how they feel on factory bearings, because Kevin puts skiffs and everything. But it's very smooth. You know, it's very drop shutty. Just, you know, a very well thought out deployment system. I mean, Jake loves, you know, holes over studs. That's his motto. You know, it's very, very well done on this. And I like the, you know, it's not a normal flipper, because a normal, I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's kind of in the same place as a flipper, but it's kind of like the back flipper. I guess that's what I've always referred to it as. And it works very well too. So all around, like, action is great on these. I know some people had some issues whenever they got them in, because I think they shipped them from Texas and then they went to different places in the country, and like the weather and the humidity and stuff like that kind of messed with the micarta, maybe warped it a little bit. But I know that they had, you know, great customer service. They basically said just to reach out to them and they would fix anything that needed fixed. But I think Kevin's was okay. He got this one and one of the green micarta ones, and I think he liked this one a little bit better, so I believe he sold that. But yeah, this thing is a fidget monster. It's very well done, very fun to play with. Just a lot of different ways to deploy it. You can slow roll it upside down, slow roll it normally. Just a lot of fun. So action is 10 out of 10. Next up is Ergos. Ergos are also fantastic. If you guys look at this knife and you guys are fan, or you know anything about Jake, you will know that he is a big fan of the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and the Koning Arius. The Koning Arius is like his favorite knife of all time. I believe he has like 5 of them now, and some of them are like really bougied out. But he has long said that the PM2 is like his favorite, just like user knife, like EDC, just like an EDC knife in general. He's always gravitated towards that. He's always, you know, been a big fan of it. And to me, I see a combination of that, you know, with the hole, but you have kind of an Arius blade, but then you have the hole reminds me of both an Arius and a Spyderco. Obviously not the Spyderco, you know, hole, but you know what I mean. The body reminds me of a PM2, and you kind of have like a Strider-esque back here, which is kind of funny because Jake went viral for like throwing a fake Strider off of a mountain. But that just gives me those 3 knives kind of are built in here. Obviously it's their own, you know, design, it's their own creation, but you can definitely tell that they took some liberties and took some, you know, some ideas from their favorite knives and kind of conform them into this. But Ergos are fantastic. I mean, one perk of having kind of the back flipper and not a normal flipper is it deletes it down here. So you get a very generous choil. You can choke up and it feels super, super comfortable. You don't have any jimping, which Jake hates jimping. But you have a ramp back here and it feels, I mean, you get locked in. The pot clip is not biting in on your hand at all. The micarta at this point is well oiled, you know, from my hands, from Kevin's hands. And it's nice and soft and not like the laminated micarta, so it just feels really, really great. You get locked in here if you're going to be doing like, you know, more precise cuts. If you're going to be doing push cuts, this feels good. You can also choke back here like this. It's still very comfortable. I can get all 4 fingers on there very easily. You feel the pot clip a little bit more, but again, wire clips I think are the best for Ergos, for ergonomics, because it's just it's like a bent piece of metal. It's wire. It's not gonna be pointy. It's not gonna be, you know, digging into your hand that much. Like you can feel it, but it's not to the point where I'm like, yeah, like this is uncomfortable. But back here, up here, just in any form of cut that you need. I mean, you can swing around here, do some gas station knife fights. Ergos are just great. They really are. Lefty, righty. It's nice that you can put the pot clip on the left-hand side. Just well thought out and well designed, and you know, I really don't have any true complaints at all with this knife, because, you know, moving on to Ergos, or I just went from Ergos, moving on to carry, you know, this has a wire deep carry clip. It goes, you know, practically, I keep saying, you know, practically to the butt of the knife, so you have a little bit sticking out, But that doesn't bother me at all. Like, this is basically a true deep carry clip. The wire just fits the overall aesthetic very, very well. I like it. You know, you could put probably a milled titanium clip on here, but it's just a wire clip fits it, in my opinion, and what it's about. Just, you know, being an all-around great EDC. You know, it sits down in your pocket. You know, you do have the flipper tab down here if you're going to be digging in, you know, trying to get coins, chapstick, whatever you have, drop down in there. So you might catch on that, but it has no jimping, which is great because you're just going to bounce off of it and you're going to come back up out of your pocket. I had no issues at all with it. Like I said, this thing is phenomenally lightweight for having no relief cuts. Like it's just micarta and titanium. So you're not going to, you know, you're not dealing with stainless steel or anything like that. All nice, lightweight, premium materials, and just sits in the pocket very well. I think I carried this in my back right pocket of my shorts a few times. I've carried this to work in like my like work pants and stuff, and it works well there. Just, I have carried this in a lot of different ways, and I have never once, you know, thought it was heavy, never once like felt annoyed that I had it with me. Not that I feel annoyed when I have knives with me, but some knives are a little bit heavier and a little bit more cumbersome than others. And this is not one of them. And you're getting, I don't think I know the blade length off the top of my head, but I think it's around 3.3, somewhere around there. So you're getting, you know, what I would consider to be, I would consider this to be a full-size knife. Anytime I can get, you know, a whole grip on here and feel great and have a decent amount of blade length to go, like, to me, that's a full-size knife. I know some people are probably going to disagree with me on that one, but yeah, Ergos are great. Or Carry's great. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm getting messed up today. One thing I didn't touch on, and I don't really, you know, talk a whole lot about, is the cutting tasks and the cutting performance, which I should talk about more. But I'm not a huge user of knives. But this thing does phenomenally well. This hollow grind is probably one of the best hollow grinds, if not the best hollow grind that I've ever felt. Like, it comes down to such a thin edge. It feels like you're almost touching your other finger through the knife. It's very weird, and it's hard to describe. But if you felt a really nice hollow grind before, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But you have, you know, this hole up here, and it comes down. It even starts at a decently thin area, but it comes down just to a razor sharp thin edge. And I think I've cut some cardboard with this. I think that was the extent of my cutting, besides like a few Amazon packages or, you know, letters and stuff like that. But this thing just cut through cardboard so well. You just choke up through there, and you just, you know, do push cuts down through it. This thing, you know, annihilated cardboard. That's how good it is. Riot killed it on the hollow grind. I'm really glad that they went with it. I've really started to, you know, appreciate a good hollow grind just because of how thin and slicey it is. And I don't know what the thickness behind the edge is, but I'm pretty sure it's very, very low. Or high, however you measure that. But yeah, cutting is great. Carry is great. Ergos are great. Action is great. Just materials, everything. Like, this is a fantastic knife. So that leads me to price point and would I recommend this knife? I absolutely would recommend this knife. If they ever do another run, if they ever do, you know, if you're at going to a big knife show, I know they're going to Blade Show Atlanta. I think they're going to have, I don't know if they're going to have more of the brown micarta and black DLC bladed Avants or not. They probably will because they had them at Blade Show Texas. But I absolutely, you know, this is a home run of a knife. As an EDC knife, it feels great in the hand, it has great materials, it's fun to play with, so, you know, it has that fidget factor to it. It excels at cutting due to just great ergonomics and great blade geometry and, you know, such a thin grind. I really think that, you know, this is a phenomenal knife. Price point, I think these went for $299 on the pre-order, and I think they're selling at shows for $325 or $350. I will say the only thing that I don't necessarily love about this knife is I think $300 is a little high on the price tag. Just because, you know, you can get micarta and M390 knives for easily around $150 to like a little over $200. Now I know that I'm not comparing this directly to those type of knives, but I don't know. And I know a lot went into the unboxing experience with the stickers and the hank and everything like that, which adds to the price tag, and I completely get that. But if I'm going to be completely and utterly honest, I would have rather paid like $200 to $225 for the knife, and maybe not gotten that type of stuff, and saved $175, because I think that you could have easily gotten it down around that price, for the materials you're getting and stuff like that. So objectively, I think it might have been a little overpriced, but that's not honestly why I bought it or why I didn't buy it. I honestly, if I'm being, honest, I had the knife in my cart whenever the pre-order went live, and I was very close to buying it, but I pulled back at the last second due to me, not wanting to dump that much into a pre-order. But I never once thought during the pre-order that it was or how am I trying to say this? That's never the reason why I thought I didn't want to buy it. Like, I've never been like, that's too overpriced, I wouldn't buy it. Just because, Jake is a buddy. I would consider him to be one of my associates, kind of friends in the knife world. We've chatted a decent amount, and I like him. He's a very great guy. He's a nice guy. He sent me knives before, and he's doing a lot of good in the knife community. And I hope he makes more designs, because him and Ryan killed it on this. They really did. I would love to see maybe make a budget version of it, or a budget knife with a little bit cheaper materials, like maybe 14C or Nitro V, to knock the price down a little bit. And I would definitely be on the pre-order next time. And if I'm being honest, if they do another premium model like this, it's $300 or more, at this point in my life, I'll probably pay for it, just because I've gotten a little older. I have a better job. Hopefully at the end of the summer, I'm going to be graduating, done with my school in general, so I'll have more money once I find a full-time job, a big person job, to spend on knives. So I would 100% buy this, type of product again, or in the future if he comes out with something like that. Hopefully you guys are able to understand what I'm saying, but that's really the only gripe. I just think it maybe was a little bit overpriced for the product it is. Just because you can get other knives like that a little bit cheaper. I'm not saying it has to be like $100 budget knife, but maybe a little bit money off would have been nice. But I completely get why they did it, because the unboxing experience, all the goodies you get with it, and they have to make money too. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. It sold very, very well. I think the pre-order sold out. I'm pretty sure they sold all, if not most, of their knives at Blade Show Texas. So they have a great thing going for them, and I'm very happy for them. I think that they can, they basically knocked their first model out of the park, and I think they have a fan base, and they have support from the community, and I definitely think that if they come out with more stuff, it's going to be popular too. And they've set high standards with this, so I think that they're going to come out with some great stuff, and hopefully they come out with a model soon, because I think once Blade Show is, like, all the major knife shows are done for the year, maybe they'll tap back in and they'll start to design some new stuff and whatnot. So but right now they're still trying to get the Avants out there, and I think they're doing a great job. So guys, this was my full review on the Luft Concepts Avant, designed by Jake Wright over at Bearded Gear and Ryan Rimmer over at Rimmer Designs. Shout out to them for putting out such a great product. In the future, I really want to support them, and I really would love to have a Luft Concepts knife in the collection. So their next one that comes out, I'll definitely pick one up. But thank you, Kev, for sending this out to me. I'm sorry for keeping it so long, but stuff happens. So I reached out to Kev and stuff like that, and told him that I apologize, and I was planning on getting it done as well as the other two ones here. So I'm going to quit rambling. I've been talking for about 24 minutes now, so I apologize, guys. This is a long one. This next one might be a little bit of a long one too, because I plan on doing 2 knives in the same video. But I'm going to quit rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize again for the long layoff, but I'm back. Hopefully I can find a better schedule and a better routine for making some videos every week and getting it out to you. But again, I thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of you, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.